Hi, we are Grigori Gharveyn. This is part 10 of our current project, Our Future History, How the Earth Made Peace. Part 10, The New World Order. In our ancestors' times, people were being trained to fear the emergence of something they called the NWO, or the New World Order. The New World Order was alleged to be an evil plot to subjugate all people on the planet Earth to an eternal tyranny under a world government. Many people believed this at the time our ancestors were busy trying to build world peace. This might not have seemed like a serious problem were it not for several factors. One serious problem with popularized beliefs about the NWO was that these belief systems were being presented in conjunction with belief systems that informed people that any person who attempted to create world peace might be an antichrist. Today we have a better understanding of the root of the term antichrist. We know that antichrist does not mean either antagonistic to Christ or the opposite of Christ. However, in our ancestors' times, most people prefer to believe these unbalanced misinterpretations of the original Greek meaning to come before Christ. Consequently, anyone who became a charismatic leader in the development of world peace was likely to be accused of being an antichrist. The meaning of antichrist in this context was very threatening. People outside of the Hermetic Brotherhood were getting just enough information distorted by lack of context, to accuse the Brotherhood of being behind this plot to enslave everyone on Earth more effectively. The Hermetic Brotherhood could not allow their hands to be tied. It was inevitable that some charismatic people, most likely fellow brothers and sisters of the Hermetic orders, would emerge who would successfully begin to preach enlightenment and world peace to the masses. Enormous resources were being poured into establishing mimetic agencies that were intended to stop the Brotherhood and the Enlightenment movement dead in its tracks. It may seem as if, to our ancestors, this story were only beginning to be told. However, this story had already been in the making for many thousands of years, and had already appeared in many different forms in many different cultures in our ancestors' times. Today, we all know this story. The Brotherhood has emerged from their closets, and we have all chosen to be inducted into their orders. We have all been able to join their orders without giving up any of our individual cultural integrities, because all of our cultures and all of our holy scriptures have helped record the evolution of the change written in the world when the Enlightenment movement fully flowered under the guidance and testaments of the interfaith movement. The time of world peace was swiftly approaching, propelled by instructions from the Hermetic Brotherhood. Our ancestors among the interfaith movement and the emerging noetic and mimetic scientists would have to embrace all people everywhere with love, compassion, nurture, and respect, regardless of whether those people they embraced might consider themselves to be their foes. Each of these enlightened people who hoped to help bring enlightenment to the entire world knew that they could not fight for world peace. They knew that only by loving all people on earth sincerely, universally, and unconditionally would they be able to reach the hearts and minds of anyone who feared what they might represent. With enlightenment comes the knowledge, the certitude, that we can endure any adversity. This knowledge sustained the members of the interfaith movement and the scientists of the Enlightenment movement. In the end, the Enlightenment movement benefited from the actions of the mimetic agencies that had been designed to oppose it. In order to properly sensitize people regarding the perceived malign intents and methods of the Hermetic Brotherhood, people had to be educated. A very aggressive campaign of public education emerged that was teaching people who the Hermetic Brotherhood were and what their goals were. It did not matter what spin was put on this information. Teaching anyone about the existence of the Hermetic Brotherhood worked towards the Brotherhood's advantage. Spin needs something to spin, and once the Hermetic Brotherhood was revealed, spinning this information system back to their advantage was a simple matter for the Brotherhood. Because manipulating fear was the most successful communications tactic, Spreading fear that the Brotherhood was a threat got the message out to more people more quickly. Disinformation about the Brotherhood seemed to be a threat. However, it turned out not to matter how much disinformation was created. All information has the properties of strengthening or weakening our individual opinions of the truth of all other information. The more information out there, the better. In making our immediate choices about what to believe or to disbelieve about anything we reinforce our beliefs in, we reinforce our beliefs in the existence of whatever we regard. Increasing the net belief in the Brotherhood and their mastery of the world was of greater benefit to the Brotherhood in the long run than any damage caused by spin or propaganda. So it turned out to be okay that people all over the planet were being brainwashed to fear the emergence of a new world order or an antichrist. At the time of our ancestors, viral videos were just emerging. Hundreds of viral videos were being shared by people all over the planet in the groups of tens of thousands. A significant part of the entire planet's population was learning about the Hermetic Brotherhood and how they controlled the entire world. The many messages of these viral videos were hardly all true, but the necessary kernel of truth was there, the existence of the Brotherhood itself. Memetic agents and agencies that might have been expected to remain the domain of these viral videos were popping up in the mainstream media as well, through parallel evolution. Shows, sometimes lasting many hours, were aired on popular cable networks such as the Science Channel and the History International Channel, but also on more popular networks including Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, and many, many more. All of these shows contain more information about the history of the Enlightened movement and the Hermetic Brotherhood. Memes for the themes of a war against the Enlightenment movement were popping up in major motion pictures such as Star Wars, The Matrix, The Terminator, and Dune. People all over the world were being polarized by the media and attracted to various systems of beliefs that all held opinions that might be united to wage civil war all across the planet if anyone tried to establish world peace or a world government. And indeed, a very elite group of people intended to unleash a global civil war in our ancestors' times in order to save themselves from an imminent, nearly complete collapse of all terrestrial and aquatic biospheres that pollution generated by overpopulation was held responsible for. There were indeed people in power who were driving the world to the brink of disaster in their quests to dominate the entire planet. But it wasn't really the Hermetic Brotherhood driving these invisible reins of power. The people driving the invisible reins were elitists who broke away from the Enlightenment movement, or people who were traditionally challenged by the Enlightenment movement. These were people motivated by fear and greed, people who had sometimes not reached enlightenment even when it was easily available for them to explore. The real rulers of our ancestors' worlds were poised to kill off 90% of humanity to ensure their own comfort, security, and survival. The time for them to act was quickly approaching. They did not know how long the planet could survive without a solution to the pollution our ancestors were poisoning our world with. The interfaith world peace movement converged with the rising tide of fear being used to hold back the emergence of the Enlightenment movement. These colliding supersocial memetic wavefronts thrust human consciousness and awareness to higher levels than were ever experienced before by so many people simultaneously. A new age of human awareness emerged. The Enlightenment movement was received on a global scale. Our ancestors embraced a new and sturdy foundation for world peace. All of the great comfort and security we enjoy today we owe to our ancestors' efforts to establish world peace in their lifetimes. Our ancestors achieved the noble vision that all of their holy scriptures had always proclaimed: peace, liberty, justice, security, diversity, and abundance for all people, with no one left behind. Namaste.